Now batting for the Yankees, number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
We've heard that line play at Yankee Stadium 6,236 times. And tonight will be the last time we hear it. Tonight, Derek Jeter is playing his final game at Yankee Stadium. We never thought that this day would come, but sadly, it's finally here. I'll be at the game tonight with my girlfriend and 20 of my family members, and I'm going to be bawling my eyes out. It's going to be a sad day, but it's going to be a very bittersweet day. It's going to be like a funeral. It's going to be so sad to see Jeter walk off that field for the last time, but it's going to be so exciting and joyful to realize that these last 20 years, we've had the most influential athlete on the most prestigious franchise of all time. And I have been so blessed to watch him play for all of my life. I don't know the Yankees without Derek Jeter. I'm 19 years old. He's been in the league for 20 years. Literally, the Yankees have not played, besides injuries, the Yankees have not played without Derek Jeter. He's always been on the roster. The day Derek Jeter announced his retirement back in February via Facebook, my family and I, we were sending emails to each other back and forth, basically all day, just talking about Derek Jeter. And real quick, I would just like to read what I said to my family. It said, "You guys know the Yankees without Derek. I don't. Truly a sad day for me as well as every baseball fan. Currently alone in my dorm room watching Derek Jeter highlights, crying my eyes out. He was who I emulated ever since Dad gave me a bat and ball. From the flip to the dive to his 3,000th hit, meeting him was amazing. His career was really a script written by Hollywood directors, and we are watching the final scene." And folks, this is the final scene. His career has been a script. And I guess that script ended because the Yankees got eliminated from postseason contention yesterday. But only one other man has hit his 3,000th hit as a home run, and that was Wade Boggs. That same day, he went 5 for 5 and got the game-winning RBI. Who could picture that? That's something that you only see in the movies. I had, like I said in my email, I had the amazing opportunity to meet Derek. I was 7 years old, and it was a week before he became captain of the Yankees. And we had a little chit-chat. We were just talking, whatever. And at the end of his, I guess you can call it a Q&A with a bunch of fans, he said, "You can do anything if you set your mind to it." And when you think about that quote, he has had his mind set on being the shortstop of the New York Yankees ever since he was 4 years old. And he's been doing that for 20 years. He said on Derek Jeter Day that he felt like a kid for the last 20 years. He got to play a kid's game for millions of dollars in front of millions of fans. And in doing so, he won 5 World Series. He became a 14-time All-Star. He won several Gold Gloves, several Silver Sluggers, a Roberto Clemente Award. He just got presented with the Commissioner's Award. And people are saying about the farewell tour and all of the gifts, like, it's getting way too out of hand. He's not even that good. He's overrated. This farewell tour is not about his skill. It's about his respect to the game. Derek Jeter has been in the league for 20 years, and he still is hustling out ground balls to second base that are sure outs. When I see a guy jog down the first baseline because I think they're going to get out, I want to run on the field and flip out on them. Because you never know when that guy is going to box the ball. You never know when that guy is going to throw it way over his head. You hustle out every ground ball. And Derek Jeter does that every time. And that's why I admire him so much. I admire guys like even Chris Stewart, who batted 200 for the Yankees. I liked him. Why? Because he respected and did not take that 90 feet for granted. This farewell tour is not because of his skill. Fans need to realize that. This farewell tour is because we are losing the face of baseball. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, his jersey became the highest selling baseball jersey of all time. And it's not because he was good. It's because of his influence to the game. When I have kids, I'm going to tell them, play like Derek Jeter. I'm in a men's league. I still play like Derek Jeter. I'm hustling out ground balls to second base because one day the guy's going to bobble it, and one day I'm going to be safe. And on top of that, the guy's never gotten in trouble, as far as we know. He's never done anything wrong to the game. That's the kind of guy you have to emulate, not these guys in the NFL who are constantly in and out of jail and are suspended for an entire season. There's been this whole 1 word for 2 thing going on, and people have said legendary, iconic, Yankee, lifer. If I had to choose 1 word for 2, I would probably pick athlete, because he is a true athlete, and he's a sportsman. He shows sportsmanship. He puts his team first, which is another reason why this whole thing is so sad. Because you see guys, I remember this happened to Robbie Cano. He did not want to bat second because he knew his RBI numbers would go down. Derek Jeter is the type of guy where you put him anywhere in the lineup, he wants to produce. I'll never forget when HBO had their 3,000th hit documentary on Derek Jeter. He's hugging everyone, getting congratulated. A.J. Burnett, the starting pitcher of that game, goes up to him. He says, "Congratulations, Derek. It's awesome." And then he just says, "Be ready to pitch." I think that's incredible. The guy just hit his 3,000th hit. He was the 28th person ever to do that, and no one has done it since. And he goes up to the pitcher and says, "Be ready to pitch." He knows that games have to be played. It's more than just about him. And while sometimes I do wish that he would sit back and reflect the moment, and I really hope he does tonight, it's amazing how he just puts the team first. Baseball needs guys like that. All sports need guys like that. Honestly, I think Derek Jeter is the top 5 Yankee, and you can make the argument that he belongs on the Mount Rushmore of Yankees. 6th place all-time on the hits list. 1st place all-time on the Yankee hit list. No one else has more than 3,000. 2nd is Lou Gehrig with 2,721. Career average of 310. And no, Derek wasn't the greatest player of all time. No one's saying that. There are flaws to his game. He's made some bad defensive plays. I'm not going to deny that. This year he's doing awful. I'm not going to deny that. But again, this farewell tour is because of his respect to the game and those around him. And fans need to realize that. I think Derek Jeter has been the first face of the MLB, and I don't know how long. I can't even think of another one. And I hope that Mike Trout is the next. And honestly, I don't even know who's going to be the face of the Yankees after this year. You're making an argument for Jacoby, I guess, and Tanaka. And I remember, maybe A-Rod. And I remember when I was emailing my families that day, my dad said to me, "I had guys like Mattingly and Munson when I was your age. Now I have Jeter for 1 more year. You might not think it's possible, But maybe there is another guy out there who we can look up to, just like Jeter and Donnie Baseball and Thurman. Maybe it is possible. I mean, I've known Derek Jeter. That's it. Derek Jeter's been my favorite baseball player. You look on, remember in Little League when you had those baseball cards and it said favorite player? Every year, Derek Jeter, Derek Jeter, Derek Jeter, Derek Jeter. And no, it wasn't because he's been the most consistent Yankee. Probably the best Yankee that I've ever seen. Definitely the best Yankee I've ever seen. It's not because of that. It's because of the way he carries himself on the field and in the clubhouse. And baseball and sports are going to miss that about him. Today is going to be very depressing for all baseball fans. Especially, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be sitting in the upper deck. I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. I can't wait to see, barring weather, looking at my window, it looks okay now. But I cannot wait to see what Joe Girardi does at the top of the ninth. Unless if it's a close game, then you got to leave Jeter in, no? I mean, the game's meaningless. But let's say Yankees are up 5-2, top of the ninth. Remember, Girardi took Jeter out in the last game at Yankee Stadium with 2 outs, and he got a nice ovation. He got taken out of the All-Star game. He took out Mariano with Pettit and Jeter. Could we see the core 4 reuniting at shortstop, taking Derek Jeter out, and hopefully Derek Jeter sheds a tear or two? That would be perfect. I don't think there would be a 15-minute long ovation for him. I think the longest ovation I've ever seen was Cal Ripken Jr.'s ovation when he broke Lou Gehrig's consecutive game record. And second, probably Mariano last year. I think tonight Jeter is going to beat both of those combined, especially if the core 4 reunites at shortstop. That would be something else. I can just picture Jeter taking one final victory lap around that field, shaking everyone's hand, kind of like what Ripken did. And I hope he sheds a couple tears. Because, again, Jeter's not the kind of guy who's going to live in the moment. Jeter's the type of guy who's going to say, okay, I did my thing, let's go play this game now. In his speech at Derek Jeter Day, he made a whole big speech, and he said, okay, now we have the game to play. He's so uncomfortable with everything that's going on. He's not going to admit it, but he's very uncomfortable with what's going on. Because he has to get all these gifts, and then he has to warm up. As soon as he's done taking pictures and everything, he's sprinting out into the outfield and warming up. I went to Jeter's last game at Citi Field this year, back in May. And he got a pretty nice hand from Met fans. And everywhere he's gone for his last game, fans have been going crazy. Now, have you watched these last 7 games of this homestand? People are on their feet. I went to the game a couple weeks ago against Kansas City, and people were on their feet. I've heard some loud moments at Yankee Stadium. I was at the game where Aaron hit the walk-off in the bottom of the 15th against Boston when it was a 0-0 game the whole time. I was at Game 2 of the 2011 Division Series against Detroit when Jorge got that triple off of Valverde. The crowd was going nuts. I've seen a lot of big moments in Yankee history. But tonight is going to be the loudest I will ever hear at Yankee Stadium. And I went to the Devils and Rangers game at Yankee Stadium, and that was loud. This is going to blow by everything. Someone get a decibel meter at Yankee Stadium tonight. I guarantee you it might be the loudest crowd that has ever been at a professional sporting event. I think what I'm going to miss the most, besides his respect to the game, is just the magic he brought to the field. The dive, the flip, the 3,000 hit, the 5 championships, the walk-off against Arizona, the Jeffrey Mayer home run. There are so many moments that we can count down. And it's sad that we might have seen the last of those magical moments. There aren't going to be any more dives. There aren't going to be any more 3,000 hits. There aren't going to be any more Derek Jeter-like moments. And there's not going to be any more Captain Clutches. No more Mr. Novembers. This is it. He has Yankee Stadium tonight, and who knows if he's going to play in Boston. And I think deep down he doesn't want to play in Boston because he wants to end his career tonight at Yankee Stadium. But these guys in Boston paid thousands of dollars, and they're just going to watch Derek Jeter sit on the bench. That's tough. But anyway, I can't imagine 2015 Yankees and no Derek Jeter in spring training. I mean, if the guy, let's compare it to Marty Brodeur for the Devils. Marty wound up being the second string goalie for the Devils this year, ahead of Corey Schneider. Derek Jeter's still their primetime shortstop. He's still playing every day. He's been their most consistent player. He and Ellsbury probably and Gardner. So it's going to be a very tough adjustment. We're still adjusting to Mariano. When you can watch the Gatorade commercials and watch the Jordan commercials, basically those commercials just say everything that I've said in the last 17 minutes. It's sad to think that there are not a lot of guys like Derek Jeter. And I'm not saying everyone has to be Derek Jeter. You don't have to get 3,000 hits and 5 World Series for me to like you. Just play the right way, like Derek Jeter. Mike Trout has never made the postseason until this year. I still got his jersey. I'm obsessed with Mike Trout because he plays the right way. He does not take that 90 feet for granted. He plays with so much emotion. When you play with emotion and you do the little things right that a lot of people don't see, that's when you earn my respect. And Derek Jeter has earned my respect. He's earned my parents' respect, and they've seen a lot. They've seen Thurman. They've seen Donnie. They've seen a lot of guys. I think if you don't like Derek Jeter, you don't like baseball, or you're just looking for attention. Honestly. You don't have to like the Yankees to like Derek Jeter. I met a Red Sox fan when I was on vacation down in Avalon. And we were talking about Derek Jeter for a good 5-10 minutes. Derek Jeter has touched the hearts and souls of every sports fan. You don't have to like baseball to understand Derek Jeter's impact on sports as a whole. His impact on sports is like none other. And it is sad that we are not going to see such a big impact on sports anytime soon. Let's hope not, but that's probably the truth. Now I just want to take this time to send my personal thank you, Derek Jeter. You're the guy I've emulated since my dad gave me a bat and ball when I was 2 years old. I've played like you for as long as I remember, and I continue to do that to this day. I've watched almost every game you've ever played in. I've studied your every move. I've studied your life as if my life depended on it. Thank you for the countless memories, for the flip, the dive, the everything. There are too many to choose. You've been an amazing sight, and I've had the amazing privilege to watch you play for all my life. I knew this day would come, especially since 3 of the core 4 have already retired. But it's sad that the day has finally come. I can't wait to tell my kids and grandkids about you, and It's amazing that I can compare you to Babe Ruth and Gehrig and Mantle and DiMaggio and Berra. I cried when you hit your 3,000th hit. I cried when you broke your ankle. I cried when you announced your retirement, and I'm going to be crying a lot tonight. Your name was the loudest out of my mouth at every roll call. I don't know what Yankees baseball is without you, so it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for me to adjust. But I want to say thank you for being my idol and being an inspiration not only to me, but to millions of baseball fans around the world. Thank you and farewell, Captain. You will be missed. It's not goodbye. See you later. Take care, everybody.